Welcome to No
Scotty.
Strokes Podcast. We're back, Joe, again for more.
We're back, baby.
I was
Always
just
back.
excited. I was just getting ready to do this little work over here. I had a new Yamada grip to go on the new putter. Not the new putter. This is my old putter.
But are you even gonna? I was gonna say you're not even gonna use the new putter.
No, this is like an OG Yamada. He just retired. This is the putter. I shit you not, the exact same putter that they gave Obama when he was president and he went to Japan. The guy who makes these he's pretty much been retired for a while, but he's now fully retired. And I had just hit them like with a congrats, and they were like, "Oh, do you want a new head cover and grip for it?" And I was like, "Yeah," because I'm sure it's gonna be really hard to like come by when the store is shut down. The guy's like 85, and I went on eBay. I'm not saying I'm gonna sell this Yamada in case there's anyone listening. I'm not gonna sell it. $250 to get this grip. $500 if you want a new Yamada head cover, because they're just like not. I mean, this putter now probably sells on eBay as is for like $2,800 at least.
And they just sent that free.
Yeah, I just was like, I mean, they don't have that many customers over their lifetime, so I imagine when they see somebody who like hits them up and is like, hey, like love the putter, have had it for 15 years, was just curious, congratulations on your great career. Was curious if there's any like merch and stuff you have left. And they were like, we'll send you a refreshed head cover and grip. And I was like, fuck yeah. So anyway,
hey,
fuck yeah. Thanks, Yamada.
The dividends of No Strokes fame paying off.
No Strokes. That, and I mean, the origin story of the Yamada putter is even better. Like that is the Yamada putter that when the Anaheim Angels signed Torrey Hunter, he bought that putter, the one in my hand, literally.
Yeah.
He bought that putter, Torrey Hunter, and gave it to Richard Brown, who was at the time the general manager of the Angels. And I was out in California. This is probably like 2008 or so. And I was playing at, I think I was playing at Torrey Pines. I forget, you'd think you would remember that, but I forget where I was playing. And, oh no, it was not. It was in Palm Springs I was playing. And I get paired up with this guy, completely random, and we're playing, 3-4 holes in, and obviously I noticed it immediately. I was like, holy shit, that's a Yamada putter. At the time, Phil Mickelson's Odyssey was rumored to be a Yamada that they had just kind of, cleaned put the Odyssey number on. It's one of the most sought after milling and just general like Japanese steel of all time. It's an elite putter, like I was saying, they gave it to Barack Obama when he came there as a gift. So anyway, I'm like, holy shit, like these putters are like $1,000, which in 2008 might as well be $5,000. And I'm talking about it. And he's like, dude, you really like this putter, man. And I was like, I'm sorry, I'm a creep. Yeah, I guess I do. And it turns out he tells me I was the GM, keyword is was, the GM of the Angels, the guy who signed Torrey Hunter. And he's like, I love Torrey as a guy. He's a wonderful guy, great golf guy. He bought me this putter as a gift when we signed him, but the signing was such a fucking disaster that I want nothing to do with this putter. Not to mention, I can't make any putts with it. It's yours. And I was like, how much? And he was like, no, it's yours. I appreciate it. So thank you to that. That's how I got
unbelievable.
Here.
Yeah. That's a hell of a story.
Yeah, I've been getting free shit my whole life, Joe.
Was Torrey Hunter that bad on the Angels? I don't remember that, but I guess so.
He was, you know what? So if you're a White Sox fan, you remember Torrey Hunter on the Twins kicking your ass all the time because he would just do like timing. He was a Gold Glove center fielder. He moved over, I think, to right or left field at the time there. He was still doing center field, but he batted, if I remember correctly, he had a couple home runs, and he batted like 220. Like in the end, they paid a lot of money for a guy who was post 31, 32-year-old center fielder who wasn't a BA guy to begin with, had some jacks, had some ribbies, was timely, but there was a lot of money spent on a guy who pretty much had an OBS that was not worth, like, nothing. It was nothing. Enough that the fucker gave me a Yamada putter for free, so it couldn't have been that great.
Yeah. Like that's probably, it sounds like that's why he was the former GM. Because of that signing. So
kind of what everyone was intimating there. Anyway,
he had to be rid of that putter. It just reminded him of that over and over.
I mean, I wasn't going to try to talk the guy down, but I'm just going to last part of this story. Like the one thing about this putter, it feels unlike anything. Like, I love mirror wedges, Japanese steel in general. It's very similar, but it doesn't have any markings on it. So if you're not a phenomenal, and like this is a putter you don't fuck with. Like I guess if you're super rich, what do you care? But like it doesn't have any markings. So when you set it down, if you're not like a phenomenal putter to begin with, like you're putting kind of blind. So I wasn't going to tell him that the reason you can't make putts is that.
I think our listeners know that you're not
I'm a terrible putter. But we got options. We got the old Scotty Trillium. We got choices here.
you have an addiction to putters.
I collect putters like people collect cars and watches, and I can't help it, man. And the funny part is that I'm such a terrible fucking putter that you'd think I would collect something I'm good at, but nope.
It's the quest to get better. You can't hate on that. You're just
it's coming
to solve the putting conundrum.
What my wife Jen is in the other room and probably can hear me. I don't pay for these putters out of my pocket. I use my wedge fund from all of our gambling, which has been pretty good over the last month or so. So it's not coming out of the family account.
Could have been really good if Scotty made a 4-footer. What a segue! What a segue, buddy.
Let's go.
We gotta rip the Band-Aid off. I know you don't want to rip the Band-Aid off. But
Look, I actually made money. I made money on the Travelers. I would have made real money on the Travelers. We'll go down that hole in a minute. What a fucking great tournament.
Unreal.
Everyone's talking about how great it was, but it really was. It was a phenomenal tournament every day.
The energy there was absolutely phenomenal, right? Like you had the Norway fans there that really got into it with Hovland, so then it kind of turned into a USA versus Norway. I don't know. We were texting about it all weekend. The Travelers just seems to be able to capture magic each year. The last couple of Scotty's been in a playoff 2 of the last 3 years, right? 2024, he beat Tom Kim. There was something crazy. I don't know if you remember that tournament, but there was
I do.
Something that happened on the 18th hole where it was, I don't know if a guy it was like a protester got on the green and then they had to delay the tournament for 20 minutes. And then Tom Kim sunk like a 10-foot birdie to bring it to a playoff. And then Scotty eviscerated him. Not like I had a 50-1 ticket on Tom Kim or anything. Last year you had Keegan do the birdie Fleetwood bogey so that Keegan took it by 1. Poor Tommy Ladd just losing in heartbreaking fashion once again. And then this year you just had a heavyweight battle between Scotty and Viktor. It was so much fun. I don't think Scotty had his A game stuff, which just shows you how good he is, because Viktor,
he shot a 60.
Yeah, but that was if you looked at him on Saturday and Sunday, think about it.
It was okay. Sunday was not. Scotty
went into the weekend up 2 strokes. In the last 2 years, if he's going into a tournament leading by 2, no one is catching him, right? So he did not have his A game stuff on Saturday or Sunday. But hey, either did Viktor, right? Viktor played a phenomenal on Saturday. Sunday he comes out leaking a little bit of oil. Bogey's 1, has another bogey on the front 9. So the leaderboard bunched up a little bit because Viktor and Scotty, being the final group, just weren't running away with it. So it allowed guys like Morikawa to get into the mix, Wyndham into the mix, Ochke, Batia got back into the mix a little bit. But at the end of the tournament, it was a 2-man race between Hovland and Scotty. And I love seeing kind of prime Hovland come back. 2023 Hovland was there this weekend in Connecticut, and it was phenomenal to see. And I was texting with you about it this weekend. He's one of the guys on the tour that can go toe to toe with Scotty and actually has beaten Scotty head to head before. The last one that I can remember was 2023 at the BMW at Olympia Fields that you and I were both at. Shout out Cousin Kale for the tickets. But if you remember that Sunday, Hovland shot a 61 to take out Scotty, and that was prime Scotty. And here he is again going toe to toe with the number 1 player in the world. And, that Monday playoff, right? Scotty stuffs 1 to 3 feet, and Hovland has got to follow that up. And Hovland's standing right next to Scotty. They almost hit the exact same drive on 18 on that playoff hole. And you and I were talking about it on Monday. I think 95% of the PGA Tour pros, if they're in that spot that Hovland was in and they see the number 1 player in the world stuff it to 3 feet, I think they shit down their leg. Hovland, puts it to 7 feet. buries the putt, puts all the pressure on Scotty, and Scotty's got a slippery three or 4 footer, and it slides by, and Hovland takes the title. Just good golf, good tournament, like so entertaining. I could watch those two play like match play all day, every day.
That sounds like a guy who picked Hovland. That's what that sounds. That's a very Hovland friendly discussion.
Man, I haven't won in a while, so it was nice.
I appreciate it. I love it. I mean, and let's get that math out of the way first here. I mean, that was your pick. I told you chalk on Scotty. I didn't make a pick for the winner and make bets until Saturday anyway. So on the picks that we talked about last week, I hit the 20. I picked Akshay in the 20. I picked Fitzpatrick in the 10. I actually had Burns also and Brian Harmon in a 10 bet. They didn't make it, but they got very close. They flirted with it.
They did.
And then I had my top 5 was Morikawa. So rocking and rolling. Walked into Saturday.
The Morikawa top 5 for you on Sunday. I mean, he shot a 60 or 61 to get 61. That top 5. That was unbelievable. Yeah. Like that. Yeah, it's fun to see. Like speaking of Hovland kind of coming back into form, like it's fun to see Morikawa seem to be back now too, right? Like whatever was going on with his back earlier in the season. Like I know he won pre back injury, but like he clearly hasn't been himself the last couple of months, and like. So he's rounding into form going into the last major. Hovland's rounding into form. Scotty still hasn't won a major yet this year. He wants to tick one off. I think we're gonna be in for a hell of an Open Championship in a couple weeks.
I'm gonna do this on the show just to do it and then bet against it. But I'm done with Scotty on winning majors this year. I don't think it's gonna happen. And I think I'm not going to fade him, actually. He's like second place in every tournament he plays in, so I'm not fading him. I'm just telling you, I don't think he's going to do it. And the reason is...
But we got to give ourselves credit.
The putt on Monday... Hold on, though. The putt on Monday, it wasn't just it was a slippery putt. He saw Hovland make the fucking putt 7 feet further back, 5 feet further back, but 7 feet total. He, in my opinion, I woke up super excited. You and I texted about this. I put money on Hovland on the morning Sunday when it was cheap. I sold it when he took a 1-stroke lead or tied or whatever it was. Then I made the bet on Scotty to win outright Sunday. Well, just to win in general, but win outright. I put it on him after I sold Hovland, made some money on it. All good. I texted you as they're coming to the end, and you're like, stay with Hovland. They get to a playoff, stay with Hovland. And then as soon as we get there, you can tell there's rain and there's darkness. We're going to play Monday. So I sell my Hovland, I kept 100 of it, but like I sold the 100, whatever. I doubled down on Scotty because it was Monday, because in my mind, Hovland is kind of streaky. He's in and he's out. And Scotty's a professional and he's a winner and he's finally got a chance to win. He comes out, he pipes the fucking drive, he sticks the fucking approach, he walks up to it, everything looks perfectly fine, and then all of a sudden his brain just melted. He looked around, he points at his ball like maybe it moved, I don't know what happened there. He steps back, he looks at Hovland, he's kind of looking around. I was like, God damn it. He's going to miss this fucking putt. And as soon as he took the putter head back, I knew he was going to miss it. And he missed it. And that, to me, is the same thing I said to you when I saw Cam Young have a weirdo. Well, I saw Cam Young have a positive move when he's like, yep, Mr. Confidence. And then I saw him have the yip, and I'm like, oh, shit, here we go. I think that Scotty, it's not nearly like Cam. He's a way better player. But I think that he's in a position where he is not totally... It's not a yips in the game, it's a yips in the close. He, right now, feels more comfortable chasing. For whatever reason, it takes the pressure off for him, and he'll come into a tournament. He shits the bed Thursday was the story for half of the season. He comes in and he chases you down, and it's like if he can just 1 or 2 more things and you shit the bed, he's going to win, and then he's probably perfectly fixed. But until he comes back and wins it, as opposed to you shitting the bed, or until he takes the lead and holds the lead, I think he's not going to win. I don't think he's going to win anything, because I see a guy who's got all the game in the world who, for whatever reason, when it's his chance to shut the door, it's like in his mind, he's waiting for something weird to happen. And it's not a game yips thing. It's a closing thing.
Where I would give ourselves credit, we've called this. Like, we have said, like, we're staying away from Scotty, and like part of it has been due to the odds are just like absolutely insane. But like, I think you and I have acknowledged, yes, he's still the best player in the world, but he's not 2024, 2025 Scotty right now. And we were on that early, right? Where it's just like there seems to be something missing where, again, I go back to my point that I made earlier. Scotty, from the last 2 years, if he's winning on Sunday, he's not giving up that lead. He's going to go out and shoot like a ho-hum fucking 63 or 64 and run away with the tournament. He had every opportunity to run away with the tournament on Sunday when Hovland was kind of stuck in neutral for the first 10 or 11 holes, and he didn't do it. And I don't know if it's like, yes, part of it's the putting, right? Like you said, and that was his bugaboo before he, the floodgates opened and he's won 20 tournaments.
Which is why I know he's going to be back. This is just I can't close.
It's a blip. It's a blip on the radar, but like, winning golf tournaments is really hard, and I think we took it a little bit for granted the last 2 years because Scotty won so many of them, and now you're seeing like, hey, he's still got like 98% of like his A game, but like that 2% makes it a little bit harder for him to close and actually win a tournament.
I agree with you. All I will say, and I don't know that I've heard the talking heads say any of this, this is goodness versus greatness. He had greatness the year that he closed. This is like the Kobe Bryant, Black Mamba, the whole deal. Like, there's a difference between really, really good and could win, and there's a difference between steps on throat, will win. And right now, he doesn't have steps on throat, will win. And I do not believe for 1 second it has anything to do with this game, because for whether we're talking about golf or other sports, in my entire life, I've never seen someone who could go on a Thursday and shoot a ho-hum 70-something and it's not good. And the next day they shoot 61 and they go up 8 strokes and they're right back in the fucking lead. And it's like, so wait, yesterday you couldn't chip or putt or drive, but today you're good, and then do it 3 days in a row. Like, nope. It is forgot how to, it's almost like he got so used to everyone else just sort of like parting the ways. He's just coming through, that he kind of forgot how to like wrangle in the last minute. And it's not like he forgot how to actually do it, but it's like mentally he's showing up and he's ready to go, but then he has this weird Thursday, or he does well on Thursday, and it's like, okay, now these guys are going to fall apart and I'm just going to walk in. And I really do think, to keep it on golf, we always talk about, well, maybe we don't. People say this to me as a lousy putter all the time. You just need to see the ball go in the hole once. So like assholes, they won't give me any gimmies because they think that I really do need to like putt and see a ball go in. And then once I do it, and it helps. I think he needs to win a tournament. And the funniest part is this shit that I got from you and everyone else when I picked Scottie Scheffler in the one and done at the beginning of the year, and it turns out that's his victory.
That's the lone victory. That's the lone victory.
Take him when you can get him, man. Either way, it was an incredible tournament.
So good. Before we move off the Travelers, can we talk about, did we jinx Cam Young? Like, remember, we
he told the truth.
No, but remember we had the big four, like, you saw the yips, right? But before the yips, remember we had the big four conversation, and we're talking about like Cam Young is about to win at least one major, and like he's the 3rd or 4th best player in the world. Like, ever since he had that 3-foot miss, like he's been
back to reality.
He's basically been irrelevant.
Yes, we did. Sorry, Cam.
Sorry, kid. Come on the show, though. We'll have you.
He had all the game style going on. And the funny thing is, like, I guess this is why we get in trouble and everyone gets in trouble when you start doing lists. And this is why when we start next season, I wanted to do it this season, but we started at the Masters, so I didn't want to like midway. Next season, we are going to have the Joe and Scott hierarchy, and we're going to move these fuckers up and down. It's not the PGA rankings. It's my eyes rankings. We're going to do this next season and track it the whole way. And I will tell you, at one point, we could argue, is it Matt Fitzpatrick? Like, if it was me right now making a bet on the next tournament, I'm picking Alex Fitzpatrick. That dude's a top 10 machine this season ever since he got on tour. But these guys, I guess what we forget, this goes back to the Scotty point, we forget frequently that a guy like that, if you're putting lights out, you're the best in the world no matter what the rest of your game looks like. And if you look at the real true best in the world, if he's just so, he's still like in the top 3 or 4 every single tournament. But the other guy has to literally make every single putt to win or compete. Otherwise, they're irrelevant, or they're like top 15, top 20 tops. And that's what you're seeing with Cam Young. You're seeing with Fitzpatrick, who's also amazing. And we could have at one point had a conversation. Is it like Scotty and then Cam and then Fitzy? Like we could have done that.
We did. Yeah. I mean, we clearly
weren't
denoted than
I
was
wasn't putting Fitz in
Rory.
the top of the Rushmore, but there was a period this season it looked that way, and then you start to realize, oh shit, a hot putter just sort of makes everyone look phenomenal. Cam definitely had a yips moment, and I think that he had it again. And I'm not predicting this because I think Scotty's a different level, but I do think that there was a little something there, and I would keep an eye on it. And the last thing I want to pivot over to the John Deere, which I know you love.
I do.
I'm going to say this out loud, and you watch you coil. I love Hovland, and his ceiling is so insane. You mentioned Morikawa and Fleetwood, and their ceiling is not nearly like that, but their floor, I think, is so much higher. Every time I watch Hovland, I get the Jordan Spieth, like, fucking, the Spieth. This dude thinks he's the greatest player in the room he goes into, every room he goes into, and he probably is when he's all on. When he's not, it looks like you're just what is going on? Like, he reminds me of Spieth so much.
Agreed. I mean, he's always tinkering. He's got a little Bryson in him when you think about it, like with the tinkering and like doing the, no, not like personality wise. I'm just talking about Viktor is a super smart guy. And
he's a mechanic.
I think his intelligence sometimes actually hurts him because he's thinking through the mechanics and the process of the golf swing too much. And like, we've seen him on the range before with all sorts of different accessories and just like trying to figure out the feel that he probably had in 2023. And for whatever reason, like he can capture it moments in time, but I agree. He's just not consistent enough. I'm hopeful that he's got the momentum now because he, in 2023, he won a bunch of big tournaments. He closed out winning in the Planet, right? Won the Memorial that year. I think he's going to win the Open Championship. I think with Scotty being all of that one, Rory's disappeared, right? Like Rory he doesn't play the signature events. I don't like him at the Open. I think we're going to get a first-time major winner at the Open at Royal Birkdale.
Yeah,
I think it's
going to
be
Patrick.
It could be my two, right? Are the guys that we keep talking about. I wouldn't joke too much about that. That guy's got serious game.
No,
but
it's
going to be
literally, but he's a top 10 for me anyway.
Sam Burns and Hovland. One of those guys is going to break through. And I had this thought too. I think Hovland is who everyone thinks Åberg is. Hovland's the guy. Hovland has won 8 tournaments. Hovland is the European guy that's, got the looks, got the charisma. He is actually who people think Ludvig is. Viktor's a closer. Viktor's a killer. Ludvig, until further notice, is like way off of that path.
I agree. I think that Ludvig is a phenomenal player who, if I was playing a season-long fantasy points game, I want him on my team. Viktor's a person who I think you'll see for his whole career. You'll see 3-4 things at a time that he's hot. When he's hot, I don't think he's a tinker like every other tournament's going to be like this. I think it's phases. You might get a whole season where he's phenomenal and he's not tinkering, and then he's like, okay, off season, I want to do this. And that next season,
that's why I love him at the Open, right? Because it's
that's also why I like
a...
watching him. I love players like this, even though they want to make you pull your fucking hair out. I love players like this because deep down, I'm a lousy golfer, but I have all these putters and I want to be better. I love to tinker and learn weird things. And when I see guys who are just fucking craftsmen, he's a craftsman. I love watching guys like that play. And you could see it. I mean, you could see it in his disappointment when Scotty missed the putt. You could tell he wanted to have more of a match here and it just didn't work out.
Yeah.
You can tell he appreciates the sport and the things that go into it at such a high level that the joy in his face is authentic. And that is something in all of sports that is just, one, rare, and 2, when you find it, you bottle it up. It's the best. It's what makes the Travelers so fucking good.
And I feel like he's one of those guys that like everyone just seems to love. Like everyone roots for him because of I think the journey that he's been on and the fact that he's been top 5, top 3 in the world, and then he's gone to the depths of like, being kind of irrelevant in the golf world.
Dude gets so close to the sun. So close to the sun.
So anyway, if Viktor Hovland is right, I think it's good for the game of golf, right? It's like when a big market in baseball or basketball that's been dormant for years, right? Like it's why the Knicks being good is good for the NBA, right? It's like if the Bulls ever get their shit together, which, hey, by the way, they look like they are, that's good for the NBA, right? It's like these big brands, like when they're good, the sport's healthier and better because of it. I fully feel like that with Hovland. Like if Hovland is right, he's like one of those other superstars that like, hey, it's not just Scotty, it's not just Rory. It's like, it's a Norwegian guy that is a little bit different, that has got the looks, has got the charisma, has got the game, that when he is playing and hitting on all cylinders, like he's drawing eyeballs to a tournament, and not many guys can do that on the tour.
Agreed. He's the guy who can go out and play and run a 6-stroke lead, and you're like, damn. Which it's like, again, we probably would continue talking. We talk about Wyndham here even more, and that like his putter right now is the Cam Young putter. Like he can't fucking lose right now.
He's on fire.
All right, we got a couple minutes left here, and then we got to go back to making a true living. So let's talk about the John Deere for a minute. I know you love this tournament. What am I watching this week? I have paid no attention to it. I'm not gonna.
So John Deere, I mean, it's a TPC course. I've actually played it, Deere Run, in Silvis, Illinois, almost to Iowa. It's a beautiful course. What I like about it is it's historically been kind of a launching pad for young superstars. Like Spieth has won there before, Bryson has won there before. What we're getting is this is probably the best field that we've had at John Deere in a while. Like you've got two guys that are in the top 20 of the world golf rankings. Ben Griffin is the favorite. Goddard is right below him. But like what I'm really excited about, you've got Jackson Kuvin from Auburn, that this is his first event as a professional, right? He showed very well at Shinnecock. I think he tied.
I got him for a top 20 this week.
I love him. I love Blades Brown, who is basically Jackson, but like, I mean, he's 19, I think, at this point, but he actually has experience. Like he's played PGA Tour events. He's top 10 in PGA Tour events. He's played a lot of Korn Ferry events. You can get him at 57-1. Like just a lot of good young talent that I'm really excited to watch here. And I just think there's value in this tournament because you don't have the top 10 of the world golf rankings there. You don't have a Scotty, you don't have Rory, you don't have Hovland or Cam or Fitz. Like it is a wide open tournament. So what I would recommend to our listeners and to you is, I think there's probably 5 or 6 guys that you can take flyers on here. Couple guys that I like, Tom Kim, 35-1, solo third at the US Open. I think is top 15 in his last 3 events. Kind of like Hovland, like he was figuring some stuff out. He seems to have righted the ship here. I don't think there's a ton of value at the 35-1 number, but I do look for him to contend. I really like Denny McCarthy. He's been top 10 here twice over the last 2 years. The thing with Denny is, can he return to being the best putter in the world, right? That is what kind of gave him a chance. He's yet to win a PGA Tour event. He lost to our boy Hovland at the Memorial a couple of years ago. He's lost in a playoff to Oshke before. So he can contend in tournaments. He just hasn't won. You're getting him at 62-1. And if his putter is on, he clearly likes the course there. He's got great course history. I think there's huge value there. And he played really well at the Travelers. I think he was like top 15. And then for a really, really long shot, I'm going back to my guy, Karl Vilps, the Australian, the guy that we highlighted for the team event with Thor. I got him at 225-1. He's a guy that's won once. He won the Puerto Rico last year. So when I'm taking long shots, I do like to look for someone that has won a tournament, is younger, so you don't have a huge sample size on it. He hasn't had the best of years, but like the guy's got uber talent. And if you can sprinkle some dollars there at 225-1, like, I'll put some beer money on that. And hopefully we get a sweat on Sunday with one of those guys.
Do you always do all of them just for the win, or do you ever like try to play it
out?
Like,
I start to
10-5-1, and then a couple.
I'm starting to do that finally, just because I've like I said last week's show, I'm always the bridesmaid, never the bride. I've had a lot of guys that I've picked outright that have finished second or third.
Right. You got to
So
have
if
a
I
cover pick.
so if I like a guy, you'll usually pick one guy where I'm like, hey, I'll spread him across the card, right? A little bit on outright, more on top 5, even more on top 10, and then like try to unload on like top 20. If you really like a guy, top 20 is a safe bet. And if it's plus money still on top 20, that's where you can kind of cover your other bets. So that's what I've started to do. And then one other guy I like for you that I forgot to mention was Grillo. He's finished second there 2 out of the last 4 years, I believe. And he was at some crazy number when I bet him. I think he was at like 90-1. I'm sure he's now 84-1. 13-1 at top 5, 6-1 on top 10. I would definitely sprinkle Grillo.
I like it. What do you think about JT? You think he has a JT Poston? Do you think he has a chance to do something?
Yeah,
I feel like he's been playing pretty well. He's obviously up higher in the odds, but I feel like he's been playing really well.
I was actually on him when he won here 4 years ago, maybe, because my betting then was I just rode whoever played well in the previous tournament, and I remember that he finished like second at the Travelers, and I was like, oh, he's like 50-1 going to John Deere and like a way worse field. He ran away with that one. I like him. Odds aren't great. And he also had like an infamous, I think, 12 on Sunday. I don't know if you saw that on the par 5. He
I did. I saw his name disappear.
So, but he's the dude. He's obviously uber talented. We just saw him shine at the Memorial. I do like him, but I think he's 25-1. I'd stay away at that value.
It's not great odds, but it's a pick. If you're doing a one and done, I don't mind the pick.
One and done. I would pick him or Tom Kim for one and done.
Like it.
Yeah.
All right,
Poston's 27-1.
I'm excited to watch this with you. This is not a signature event, but it's still near and dear to our hearts, and I'll watch it in my
fifth major. The fifth major, Scotty.
John Deere. I like it. All right, buddy. We'll catch up.
See ya.